The Family Life Kids Corner podcast is made possible by listeners like you.
Hey Travis, looking forward to today's episode?
Yeah. What's with the flower?
Well, tomorrow is Easter, so I figured since that's the day Jesus rose, this would help me remember.
A rose?
Yep.
You know what, Joel? I could be annoyed, but I think that's just what you want.
A rose? Eh?
You called me, Chief?
Don't call me that, Flora. And yes, come and see the newest addition to the mall security.
Are you looking at pepper spray ads again?
Not this time. Feast your eyes on the Omni Recon 6000 system. I had it installed last night.
Security cameras?
Yes, indeed. Check out this Zoom feature. From across the food court, I can read the name tag of the employee at the slushy dog stand. Jeremy John... Oh, come on.
Zoom feature not working?
No, some redhead's in the way. Let's see what's going on over in the bakery.
Nice 360 action there.
I know, right? And what's more, each camera's equipped with super cardioid mics, so we can pick up on mysterious conversations happening in the shadows. Who's this shady character?
Is this legal?
Nobody's stopped me yet.
Miss Diane?
Yes? Do you have it with you?
Oh man, something's going down. I knew it.
Of course. You ordered Jacob's famous yeast. Here you are.
Yeast? You're suspicious of a yeast delivery?
You got to admit, they were pretty sus.
Look, Chief, you've been sitting here watching your screen so long your brain is playing tricks on you. Why don't we go walk around the mall and touch some AstroTurf?
But if I'm walking around the mall, I won't be able to see everything that's going on.
Like what? The baker's dough rising?
If I don't see it, how will I know it happened?
That's it. I'm calling an intervention. Where's the button to turn this thing off?
You wouldn't dare.
It's gotta be this one. Hey, Ruben. What's going on in here?
Hi, Flora. I'm just watching Mr. Jacobs and Miss Diane get the community center ready for the Easter breakfast tomorrow.
Oh, just watching, huh?
Oh, and listening to the radio programs.
Uh-huh. Do you think they might need help?
They seem to be doing fine. Besides, my mom says the best way for me to help her cook is to stay out of the kitchen.
Hi, Flora. How are you today?
I'm good. Do you and Mr. Jacobs need any help?
Oh, I'm not sure I have anything for you to do right now. I've got all the hot cross buns in the oven. Lionel is finishing up the last batch of boiled eggs, and yeah, we can't do anything more until Brian gets here from the laundromat with the tablecloths. Lionel, is there anything you can think of that Flora can do for us?
Nothing comes to mind, sorry.
I guess not.
That's okay.
We could have the kids start unpacking table decorations. Might save some time when Brian gets here.
Good idea.
I'll do it.
All right, you see those boxes over by that side table? If you two could empty them onto that table and sort the decorations, that would be very helpful.
Us two? I wasn't looking for a job.
Come on, Ruben. We can listen to the radio while we work.
Fine.
That looks like it's the last of the boxes. Good work, kids.
Thanks, Mr. Jacobs. I didn't even know the community center had this many Easter decorations.
The storage room has many surprises.
You should see the luau collection.
What do you think, Flora?
Think about what?
He just seemed a little thoughtful. Is there something wrong?
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just me.
Just you?
Yeah, it's nothing. Forget about it.
Okay, so what do we do now?
Hold on, Ruben. I'd like to hear what's on Flora's mind.
Yeah, if there's some way we can help, we'd like to.
Thanks, Miss Diane. I guess it's just that all these decorations of the empty tomb and he is risen has got me kind of, I don't know if second-guessing is the right word.
I think that's 2 words.
Whatever. I guess I'm wondering why we should believe that Jesus actually came back to life. I mean, it sounds pretty silly if you actually stop to think about it.
Can we say that here?
Sure we can. It does sound like a silly story. After all, Jesus died on a cross. A Roman soldier even stabbed him through his heart with a spear to make sure he was dead. How could he possibly come back to life after that?
Right. It doesn't make sense.
And yet millions upon millions of people believe he did. I wonder why.
It's a great mystery.
What's going on? Don't you guys have answers?
Maybe. We'll find out right after this.
Okay, not cool.
What's the matter, Reuben?
You know very well what's the matter, Mr. Jacobs. You and Miss Diane left us hanging.
Yeah, you were just about to tell us why we believe Jesus rose again, and you... What even was that?
Just the format of the show. It's out of our hands.
The what?
Anyway, you two were asking why we believe that Jesus rose from the dead on the third day. Where should we start, Diane?
I think the best place to begin is the eyewitness testimonies.
Small words, guys. Small words.
What she means is there were many people who actually saw, talked with, and even touched Jesus after the resurrection.
Or at least they thought they did. Couldn't they have just been, I don't know, imagining it?
Sure. And in Luke 24, we learn that's what they thought at first. Even when Jesus told them to touch him to prove he was real, they still didn't believe it. So he took some of their food and ate it with them. Imagination can do a lot of things, but making food actually disappear from a plate isn't one of them.
Sometimes I wish it was, especially when Grandma makes her meatloaf.
Okay, sure. But how do we know these people didn't just make it all up?
That's always a possibility, Flora. But then you have to ask yourself, why would they lie about this? Most of the time, people make up these kinds of things to gain power, wealth, or respect. But the book of Acts, as well as documents that aren't even in the Bible, talk about how Jesus' followers were mocked, mistreated, thrown into prison, and even killed for what they taught.
You'd think if they made it all up and were being treated this badly for it, at least one of them would crack and say that it was a lie. But instead, they only taught the good news more boldly. And because of this, thousands upon thousands believed.
Okay, that makes some kind of sense. But what if that's not enough? Maybe they just were really good liars. Or maybe they were just crazy enough about what they believed in that they didn't change their story.
They'd have to be the best liars ever, or really, really crazy.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are good at lying, and even more are really crazy.
That's true. And as far as anything in history goes, once enough time goes by, all we have to go off of is what people wrote down about what they've seen and what they've heard about. The thing is, of all the events and facts in history, we have more examples of ancient writings, in and outside the Bible, talking about Jesus coming back to life than possibly any other thing that's ever happened.
Huh. I've got to think about that.
So, is that it? Because a lot of people said Jesus came back to life and wrote about it, that's why we should believe it?
It's definitely a good place to start. But I would say there's another reason to believe, and we've already touched on it a little. It's the fact that many people's lives have been changed by meeting the risen Jesus.
That's right. In Acts 9, Paul, a man dedicated to killing anyone who followed Jesus, was confronted by him. It was this meeting that changed Paul from a hater of Christians to a leader of Christians. That's not something that even the best of lies can pull off.
And even today, Jesus is appearing to people all over the world, showing them that he is real, he is alive, and that he loves them.
Like, literally?
Literally.
Huh. Now I've got something to think about.
And while you think, I'll listen to the radio.
I wonder where Brian is. He said he'd be here at 10 at the latest.
He'll be here.
Mr. Jacobs, I have another question about this whole Jesus rising from the dead thing.
All right, Flora, what you got?
We've been talking about whether he actually rose or not. And though I'm not done looking into that, you've brought up some good points. And seeing that Jesus is God, it's pretty safe to say he can rise from the dead. But my question is, why did he rise from the dead?
What do you mean? You think he should have stayed dead?
That's not what I think, Reuben. But what difference does it make? He saved us from our sins by dying, right? And not long after that, he went to heaven like he would have when he died. So what difference does it make if he came back or not?
A very good question.
Need help with this one?
I just might. I'll get things started with the first reason that popped into my head, which is that Jesus said he would die and rise again. In many verses like Mark 8:31 and Matthew 17:9, we can see that Jesus was sure he was going to be killed, and then on the third day, he would rise again. By claiming to do the impossible and then doing it, proved that he had the authority, the knowledge, and the power to do it.
So it showed that he is God.
Right.
And that was very important for his followers to understand. Before Jesus appeared to his followers, they were confused and afraid, like sheep who have lost their shepherd. They didn't know where to go from there.
Nice use of Zachariah 13:7.
Thanks. Of course, when Jesus returned to them, not as a ghost or an imaginary vision, they realized that he was still the King of Kings and the living God.
Okay, I can see how that would be a good thing for them to know. Nobody wants to follow a dead king.
Another reason the Bible mentions is that by rising from the grave, Jesus was showing that those of us who believe in him can and will rise from the dead too.
Yes, 1 Corinthians 15.
I don't get it.
You see, in that chapter, Paul was writing to a church who was starting to think that when you die, that's it. Paul was writing to them to make it clear that if the dead are just dead, then Jesus is dead. And we're all believing in some dead guy to save us from something, which is ridiculous. No, he says, death itself will have no power over us because Jesus will defeat it. And those believers who have died will be raised, and we will live with him forever.
Whoa, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I've got a lot to talk about with my parents when I get home.
Sounds like a good idea.
Hey guys, am I interrupting anything? I'm here with the tablecloths for tomorrow.
Ah, Brian, you're here. Need help bringing them in?
That'd be great.
I'll help.
Great, follow me.
Be right with you guys. Sorry, Flora. As we were saying, there's probably other reasons the Bible talks about, but...
That's a good start, Mr. Jacobs. Thanks. And to you too, Miss Diane.
Anytime. Want to help me put the tablecloths out while the boys bring them in?
Sure. Let me turn off the radio first.
Thanks for listening to the Kids Corner podcast. If you had fun listening, be sure to share it with your friends. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can join us every week. The Kids Corner and other Family Life podcasts are made possible by your financial support. Learn more at familylife.org.